each other. 1, 2, 3, together!
Entering the home of the defending champion Lakers means entering the world of a quirky mastermind whose methods are unique and whose teams have been uniquely successful.
And the Chicago Bulls have won their first ever among the storied teams in NBA and sports history.
The Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship.
After accomplishing 2 separate three-peats with the Bulls, Phil Jackson moved on to Los Angeles, where he's helped 2 superstars become champions. Are the 2000 NBA champions. Look at a second straight NBA crown. If the New Jersey Nets are to somehow derail or even slow this dynasty in the making, they'd better start tonight. Straight series victories now, and 1 win closer to 12. For Phil Jackson, another three-peat is in sight. Game 2, next.
This is the NBA on NBC.
The Staples Center in downtown Los Angeles getting set to host Game 2 of the NBA Finals, part of a potentially memorable weekend in sports. Now, Game 1 of this series wasn't exactly memorable, and the question again tonight will be, can the underdog Nets make this a competitive series? Or will Phil Jackson move closer to going 9 for 9 in the finals as a head coach? And hi again, everybody. Bob Costas in Los Angeles. We welcome you to Game 2. Well, this is a sports fan's dream weekend. The finals of the NBA and the NHL, the World Cup of Soccer, the Williams sisters in the French Open final, the Tyson Lewis fight, Barry Bonds and the Giants against the Yankees in the house that Ruth built, and of course, War Emblems run for horse racing's Triple Crown. But tonight, we can only be in one place at one time, and so our focus is on basketball. We turn to Tom Tolbert. Now, Jason Kidd, in the Nets' defeat in Game 1 on Wednesday, had his customary triple-double, but there was one number on that stat sheet that wasn't so positive for him.
And of course, you forgot the Padres and Devil Rays.
Oh yeah,
I think are playing this.
Don't want to miss that. I'm going to TiVo it. Big rivalry.
The number was 26. It was a field goal attempt that Jason Kidd had, and you can't have 26, in my opinion. Jason Kidd needs to distribute the ball a little bit more. And what I mean 26 shots is a lot of shots for anybody. But with Jason Kidd getting his teammates involved, letting them touch the ball, and you see right here, the ball moving, and you're not going to see that happen very often. I mean, the ball gets blocked, the shot gets blocked, he gets the ball back. But right there, Van Horn gets it, you get the Kittles, get it on the break. And I think when he takes a lot of shots, that's when they're not running. They get stuck in a half-court mode, and he feels like maybe he needs to shoot a little bit more. When they get into a flow, he's finding guys.
Of course, the Nets shot under 40% from the field and under 60% from the free throw line. You can't miss that many open opportunities when you're the lesser team and looking to steal a game on the road in the finals. Now, if they're going to get any business done tonight, they've got to not stop because it's impossible, but slow Shaq.
We got to help out on Shaq. You can't just let this guy abuse guys down low. It's impossible to stop him. But right here, hey, how about a little help? They're just standing, looking. Good luck, Todd. No, it's not going to happen. I mean, when he gets serious about scoring, maybe you don't go here, but right there, he's serious. He is serious about scoring the basketball. You have to go. Hey, Jason Collins going to have no chance against him. No one's going to have any chance against him. There's a lot of guys in this league that can score with 2 and 3 dribbles down low. With Shaq, it's just you have to go when he gets serious.
All right, moving closer to tip-off. More to come from the Staples Center. Coming up, we'll hear next from both teams. The Nets trying to find a way to slow down the Shaq Diesel, who torched them for 36 points and 16 rebounds in Game 1. Kenyon Martin and the Nets so resilient in the playoffs thus far, attempting to even this series at a game apiece. We'll be right back. Okay, back in Los Angeles, getting set for Game 2 of the NBA Finals. Now we'll go courtside and join Jim Gray, who's with Lakers point guard Derek Fisher. Jim, whoa, Jim.
Well, we pulled up a little space on the floor, Bob.
Jim, doing just about anything in pursuit of a story, a dogged reporter.
Well, Jim Cotta here is stretching out Derek Fisher, and in pursuit of this story, Derek, as you lay down and get stretched out here, what type of start do you anticipate tonight from the Nets?
You know, we expect the start similar to the way they played the second half the other night. They're going to come out with a lot of energy. They're going to defend us really strong, and you know, they feel like they can win this game, so we're going to have to be ready.
And about your legs, you're chasing Jason Kidd, you chased Michael Bibby, Damon Stoudemire, Tony Parker. Can your legs hold up, and what do you expect out of Jason tonight? He's already had a triple-double in this series.
Well, you know, we expect from Jason what we've seen the entire season and the entire postseason. He's going to come out and play his normal game. You know, I'm just trying to tell myself to hold up for another 10 days, and I'll be okay. But, you know, this time of year, it's all about having fun and playing basketball.
All right, Derek, he's quite relaxed. In fact, all that's missing here, I think, is a pillow for him. Let's go over to Lewis Johnson, who's probably standing up. Lou?
Yeah, I am standing up, Jim. I am standing up. Hey, I'm here with Keith Van Horn, and who grew up in Diamond Bar, California, about an hour from here, a diehard Lakers fan. So is it fair to say that you were in awe that you were playing the Lakers in Game 1, and have you recovered?
No, I wouldn't say necessarily awe, but I was just excited to come out here and finally be in the position to realize my dreams and, you know, be in the position where I watched, you know, all those years going up, all those great Laker games.
In the 17 playoff games you've played so far this season and 11 wins, you've played well, but when you haven't played well, that's accounted for the other losses. Are you that second guy that comes up to step up behind Jason Kidd tonight?
Well, I'm hoping to be. You know, I'm really looking to go out there, be extremely aggressive, you know, try to get into the ball in the post a lot more, try to get to the foul line, you know, try to be much more aggressive than I was in last game. I thought I was a little too tentative. You know, coming from the first game, you know, I kind of expected that a little bit, you know, and I think all that's erased and I'm ready to go tonight.
All right, good luck, Keith.
Thank you.
Bob, back up to you.
Okay, Lewis, thanks a lot. Tom, quick thought?
Well, I think when you look at the game, you say, who are the Lakers fighting? The Nets or narcolepsy? You know, last game they fell asleep for 2.5 quarters. If they stay focused, it's going to be tough for the Nets unless they get hot from beyond the three-point stripe.
All right, closing in on tip-off time. Up next, we'll hear from the men who'll call the game. Marv Albert, Bill Walton, and the snapper, Steve Jones. You're watching the NBA Finals on NBC. Downtown Los Angeles, Staples Center right in the middle of it. It's still Friday rush hour here, but a little bit past 6 o'clock means it's nearly game time here at the NBA Finals. Game 2. Time to send it over to Steve Snapper Jones, Bill Walton, and Marv Albert. Marvelous.
All right, thank you very much, Bob and Bill. Looking back at game number 1 this past Wednesday night, it was only a 5-point differential. 5 points doesn't seem like very much. For the Lakers, it was a methodical victory. The major reason for the Nets, like most other teams in the NBA, they did not have an answer for Shaquille O'Neal.
And Marv, Phil Jackson has told us that he intends to continue ramming Shaquille O'Neal right down the throats of the New Jersey Nets until they do something to stop it. And why not? New Jersey providing little to no resistance in Game 1. Shaq able to get what he wanted, when he wanted it, consistently throwing it down. And when the Knicks did decide to attack Shaquille O'Neal, he was never in foul trouble. He turned him away at every turn. Shaq is just too big, too strong, ultimately too good. Now, basketball games are won by the team with the single best player. And the gap right now between Shaq and everybody else is as big and as wide as the Grand Canyon. He outscored the next closest competitor by 13, out-rebounded the next guy by 6, shot 55%, blocked as many shots as the entire net team, and got to the free throw line 21 times. They could not do anything about Shaq. But the Lakers are far from home free. Their 16 turnovers were a nightmare, allowing 24 points off those turnovers for New Jersey. They couldn't throw it in the ocean from behind the three-point line, and they could do nothing to control their own defensive backboard, allowing New Jersey to get 21 offensive points. Now, this is the toughest type of game for the Los Angeles Lakers. In the end, though, for LA, it will all come down to Shaq's level of self-motivation.
And New Jersey head coach Byron Scott has indicated he'll continue with the single coverage on Shaquille O'Neal. He will not double up. He fears the outside shooting from the Lakers. And Steve, back in game number 1, the Nets came out obviously very nervous, a bit on the jittery side. What can they do to avoid another shaky performance?
All right, Marv, a couple of things they can do. First, forget about Shaq. They don't have an answer for him. And remember who they are. They are a sprint team. They are a team that pressures defensively. They get up and down. They're ignited by Jason Kidd. Kidd had a solid game, not a great game. So he's got to improve on his numbers, and then he's got to be able to bring his teammates into the ball game. If you're New Jersey, you sit back and say, you know what, we stunk. We played a terrible game, and yet we only lost 5-5. So if we can improve in shooting the basketball and do a better job of making a high percentage shot to layup, you can't miss 11 layups, then you're going to have a better chance. This is a championship stage. They say they have a championship heart. They cannot have stage fright.
All right, coming up, game number 2 of this best of 7. The Nets are hoping to even the series at 1 heading back to New Jersey. The Lakers looking to take a 2-0 lead. From high above Staples as we get ready for game 2 of this NBA final series. A look at the starting lineups. And both teams remain the same. Keith Van Horn, Kenyon Martin, Todd McCullough up front for New Jersey. Jason Kidd, Kerry Kittles in the backcourt. And the Lakers with Rick Fox, Robert Horry, and Shaquille O'Neal on the front line. Kobe Bryant and Derek Fisher at the guards. Let's check it again with Jim Gray. Jim?
All right, thank you very much, Marv. Phil Jackson had a message on the bulletin board. It said, we gave them confidence, now we must take it back. We must play more than 12 minutes this game, he said. You have to fight off the boredom. You really have to get after them. We need a constant effort. He said that we usually play to the level of our competition. He said, however, we have a chance to take control of this series. I asked him if he felt if the only way his team would pay total attention is if they lost the game. Jackson told me, I hope not, but probably. Let's go down to Lewis Johnson.
All right, Jim, thanks a lot. Well, Byron Scott told us yesterday that his offensive system is set up for 6 or 7 guys to be successful other than Jason Kidd. Now, back in the locker room before this game starts, he told his entire team tonight that they must play with passion and meaning, 2 things that he thought were absent in game 1. He told me that he would speak to 3 or 4 individuals about the importance of tonight, and when I asked him who, Byron Scott would not say, but Jason Kidd said this: the big thing is not to go down 0-2, because the chances of coming back to win this series against the defending champions is slim to none. Marv?
All right, Lewis, the officials, Bennett Salvatore, Steve Javie, and Don Vaden. Only 2 teams, the 69 Celtics, the 77 Trailblazers, have ever come back from a 2-0 deficit to win the NBA Finals. Kobe Bryant over Kerry Kittles. Kobe would like to get going. Only 6 of 16 from the field in game number 1.
The fewest number of shots that he's taken in the playoffs as the Nets pinching the wings, forcing Shaq to come up the lane to receive. That's good defensive strategy by Byron Scott.
And Kenyon Martin taking it down low on Robert Horry. Rick Fox over to help, came up with the script.
What you look for from New Jersey is pressure on the ball. Are they going to make the Lakers have to play from the outside most of the game, make Shaq come out to receive?
Fox backing it up on Van Horn. Shot clock to 5. See Shaq check the clock. Puts the move on McCullough.
That guy's pretty good. That's a shot you pray for him to take, and he's just making it look effortless, as routine as Jabbar's skyhook.
Here's Kittles. Now, Kittles opened up hitting a couple of jumpers early, but then was not able to get into it and sat for a long period of time. Only 3 of 7 in 25 minutes the other night. In fact, the Nets just 6 for 22, only 14 points in the first quarter. Here's Kittles, not able to hit from downtown. The Lakers led by as many as 23 in the first half on Wednesday.
Jason Kidd is such an aggressive offensive rebounder. The Lakers can take advantage of that by getting out on the run.
And Bennett Salvatore with the call away from the ball. A hold on Kenyon Martin, who got caught on Derek Fisher, who was cutting along the baseline.
Not a good start for Kenyon Martin. He gets stripped down low initially by a little guy. Get that elbow up high, and then a foul away from the ball. Needless, senseless.
Once again, Shaq getting possession. You saw Kidd try to cheat over, but as I mentioned at the start, Byron Scott does not want to double team Shaquille O'Neal. Van Horn.
The Nets are a little bit out of control. There was a quick shot from Van Horn, another quick shot from Kittle.
The Nets have to take the ball at Shaq, make him guard the ball.
Well, McCullough tried to do that with a sweeping hook.
But McCullough's not the right guy for that. It's got to be the other guys driving the ball. Then McCullough steps into the open seam and is the finisher, not the creator.
Bryant. Kobe able to get to it, and he is fouled. It's a non-shooting foul.
When you want to run, you have to get the ball first. 3 Nets were around the ball. They all ran away from it. Kobe steps in, picks it up, and goes to the line. They call it before he shot.
Foul on Kittles. Lakers with a 4-2 lead. We are just underway here in Los Angeles. Here's Fox to front. And Van Horn did not react quick enough.
New Jersey continues to switch everything. Not even on the hard interchanges are they staying with their own guy. Byron Scott may want to readdress that strategy.
Kittles fires and hits, so Kittles has come out and hit 2 of his first 3. Lakers up 7-4.
The Lakers will try to make Kerry Kittles beat him from the outside. He might have to take 25 shots tonight.
What's wrong with that?
Well, you love it if you're an offensive player.
Now Van Horn playing Fox chest to chest. Here comes Kidd to help. A little extra step taken there by Shaquille O'Neal.
Steve, I would rather for the New Jersey Nets have Kerry Kittles take 25 shots than Jason Kidd. He took 26 shots to get 23 points. That ratio is not good.
Here's Kittles popping it up, and he draws the foul. So Kittles heads to the line. He's fouled by Bryant.
The problem with their attitude against Shaq is they're not really going after him. You know, Jason Kidd came in, but he didn't really make an attempt to do anything. And McCullough is just giving ground. So whenever Shaq gets the ball, he knows he's going to get a good shot.
Kerry Kittles averaged 13 a game during the regular season. A dramatic bounce-back year. His numbers have been down in the playoffs. Not too many people thought that Kerry Kittles would be in uniform this season.
They thought his career was over. They thought he would never play again. The diligence, the hard work, the persistence, the commitment, though, paying off for Kerry Kittles, resurrecting his career.
Spent all of last season rehabbing the right knee after the offseason surgery. Bryant had it knocked away by Kittles. Good play. Here's Kittles with Fisher back.
Now that is New Jersey at its best.
Now Bryant tries to break down. Challenges Kenyon Martin.
Kenyon Martin has to be very careful. Already has the one silly foul.
Martin gets inside, and he is fouled. This is not the pace that the Lakers want to play.
But it's definitely what New Jersey wants. They have to get this going.
You see the Nets swarming, and they strip the ball of Kobe Bryant, and watch the foot speed of Kittles. He'll just outrun everybody and then finish. He scored all of their points here early in the ball game, so a good start for Kerry Kittles, and that's really got to be a good sign for Bryant, because I'm sure that's one of the guys that Byron Scott talked to before the game. I'll get his name right before this game.
Steve still caught up in the excitement of his daughter's graduation. Welcome back, Steve.
Nice to be back. I was rescuing you from Bill.
Thanks. Goodness.
So true.
Congratulations, Steve. We're very proud.
Thanks.
Lakers up 11-9. Bryant using the screen, then leaves Horry on the pick and roll, has to fire back out. Horry is open with time for 3. Here is Kittles on the quick release, shooting the 3. Kerry Kittles with the green light here at the Stars.
He is determined. He made this a decision back at the hotel at the beach today. I'm shooting every time I touch it.
By Shaquille O'Neal.
Throw it down, big man. Throw it down.
So Shaq with his 3rd field goal, he has 6, and the Lakers up 13-9.
But this is the kind of start New Jersey wanted. They wanted to be close. They want to stay tight.
Martin over Horry. O'Neal able to one-hand that rebound.
Tough to play back to the basket against Robert Horry when you're giving up size.
Keep an eye on Shaq, though. He looks a little tired, a little flat. You know, he normally runs a little bit better, but this quick pace is going to hurt him. Fisher,
nice move, but not able to convert. here at the start. This game has had more excitement in the first 6 minutes than we saw all of game one.
Steve, I go back to your comment about Shaq looking flat and tired. Balderdash is all I can say.
Oh, new word.
Steve, do you see what you missed? Shot clock at 5. Martin was able to recover. Just did get it off. Van Horn. Horn was pulled down, and the foul on Van Horn.
For the Nets to win, everybody's got to play well. Kittles is doing his job. Kidd, McCullough, okay. But Martin and Van Horn, the forward, struggling mightily. You have to have great forward play to be able to compete against Shaquille O'Neal.
Well, you find out that Kobe is willing to come back and help out defensively, slaps that away, and then you'll watch Shaquille. Now, he's all lathered up, but, you know, he's starting to breathe a little bit heavier now, Phil.
Balderdash.
Back at Staples, Marv Albert, Bill Walton, Steve Snapper Jones. And these aerial photos, courtesy of the Goodyear blimp. It's Eagle, based in Carson, California. Goodyear built its first blimp back in 1925 and currently operates 3 airships. A moment ago, Robert Horry, vying for a rebound, was pulled down by Keith Van Horn and looked to be shaken up. Although Robert remaining on the floor. For more on that, let's go to Jim Gray.
All right, thanks, Marv. He suffered a hip flexor and a pulled right hamstring. Asked Gary Vitti about it. He said, "Have you ever watched Robert play? Everything hurts. Now this does as well, and he'll continue." Marv?
A trainer complaining about his player? Wait a minute.
I can't believe that from Gary Vitti. I mean, this guy, Gary Vitti, has so much credibility and such a great bond with his players.
On the left-hand attempt by Bryant. I think that Gary Vitti was saying it in a positive manner. Kobe Bryant able to spin his way, and the Lakers now lead 17-9.
As a defensive player, Todd McCullough, who will never be confused with Bill Russell, he has to keep his body in front of Kobe Bryant, no matter what moves he brings.
Jason Kidd with his second shot attempt. Richard Jefferson, the rookie from Arizona, has checked in for the first time, replacing Keith Van Horn.
First quarter at the defensive end, the Nets have the same attitude that they had, and they're letting the ball move too freely.
Fox turned back by McCullough. Here's Kittle, set up by Kidd. McCullough. Kidd on the rebound is fouled by Fisher.
Now, the only net that can make a shot is Kerry Kittles, who's now 3 for 7, and with a couple of more misses, the rest of the team is 0 for 9. So offensively, they got to get some people in the game to make some shots. You don't scare the Lakers if you can't score against them.
Phil Jackson cannot be happy. New Jersey already has 6 offensive rebounds, and that's a foul there, capitalizing.
Jefferson hit from behind by Horry, so that is the 4th team foul committed by the Lakers.
The good ball movement from the perimeter. Richard Jefferson, who did not assert himself on the offensive end, only taking 4 shots there.
Gave that foul to Shaq.
Apparently they changed the call. It is Shaquille picking up his first. Richard Jefferson came into the league noted for his defensive play. Has shown that he's quite an all-around performer. He can do defense.
Yeah, he's one of the energizers for the team, and he's got to come in and play well at both ends. He's got to rebound it, he's got to defend it, and he's got to score the ball in all areas as they try to pick up defensively.
Some pressure shown by the Nets. The Lakers now lead by 6. O'Neal is fouled. You saw Martin come over, try to help McCullough.
What ball movement by Los Angeles. Bringing up the middle of the floor. They realize that McCullough is up on the high side, so they kick it to the wings, and then they're just too late because Shaq is so good at positioning himself. The way he keeps his shoulders and elbows up broad, always presenting a target. Todd McCullough has to sit it out in early foul trouble. Now can the bench guys come in and make a contribution?
Now Shaquille O'Neal 12 for 21 from the line in game 1, but only 8 of 16 in in the fourth quarter. He's now at 64% from the line in the postseason. Let's check in with Lewis Johnson. Lewis?
Hey, Marv, I talked to both Todd McCullough and Jason Collins about defending Shaq in Game 1 and their adjustments for Game 2, and they told me they watched about 20 minutes of the video from Game 1 and both agreed on two things. Number one, too often they gave up that position in the paint on Shaq and he burned it. But number two, there's a problem with Shaq's listed weight. When I asked McCullough if Shaq is 335 pounds, quiet Todd McCullough broke out in a loud laugh and said, there must have been something wrong with the scale.
There's a problem with the listing of the weight.
Yeah, they think he's hovering about 380 or 385.
Meanwhile, the Nets are only 3 of 17 from the field in this first quarter. The foul on Jefferson. We're just under 4 minutes remaining in the quarter. Now Lucius Harris checks in for the first time.
Kittles has gone cold, and Scott is looking for some firepower, and Kittles has got to get that ball over the rim. All of his shots are flat.
That's over the foul limit. Rick Fox to the line. You can log on to NBCSports.com to email your questions on tonight's game to Bill Walton, Steve Snapper Jones. View their answers on a web-exclusive post-game video report. And check out an in-depth preview of Game 3 from former NBA coach, former colleague here at NBC, Matt Dukas. It's all at NBCSports.com. So the Lakers now lead 21-11.
The Nets offense has disappeared. They have missed 11 shots in a row here. Kerry Kittles, the only guy who has scored from the field, is on the bench. The forwards have got to come alive for Byron Scott. Please make a shot.
Well, the Nets came out so shaky in Game 1. Harris forcing. Oh, it's put down by Kenyon Martin. And although the Nets have not shot well again here in the first quarter, they do not look to have the jitters as they did in that first game. O'Neal played now by Eric Williams. And back comes Kidd, bothered by Ori.
You know, Kidd has not been in full sprint when he's got the ball and really pushed it the other way, and they need that effort.
But here's Bryant off the steal. Bryant pulling that deflection and extends to a 10-point Laker lead.
Because Kobe is in full flight. He is really aggressive all over at both ends of the floor. So they've got to challenge him, and that's Jason Kidd.
Yes, Kobe looking better than he did in the first game of the series. He came out with a twisted right ankle. I don't know if that affected his shooting the other night, but he is looking better thus far here. Kenyon Martin forcing up the three, but kept alive by the Nets.
Another offensive rebound. Phil Jackson, he's going to start pulling his hair out.
I don't know. I think he feels pretty good. They've got control of the game. They've got the Nets struggling to find ways to score.
Jefferson rejected, but a foul on the Lakers. Good setup from Kidd. Ori picks up the personal.
The Nets attacking the basket, trying to find Shaq. He's staying on the weak side. But with Shaq waiting, Kenyon Martin quicker to the ball.
Well, the big problem that they have is what to do with the aggressiveness of Kobe Bryant. You see, beats everybody to the ball, and you know that's bad news on the finishing end. Well, I know that the coach of the New Jersey Nets is thinking, I've got to find a way to get my players to make some shots. Scott was a shot maker, but it appears that all he's got is a bunch of brick makers on his team right now. They haven't been able to make the open shots, and if you cannot make shots against the Los Angeles Lakers, they have no fear. They're not intimidated by you whatsoever. Bill, you look at that shot chart, and you got to say, ouch.
Eastern Conference is dominated and geared toward guard play. The forwards, though, like last year in the finals when Philadelphia had Jermaine Jones and Tyrone Hill stinking it up. Now you got Kerry Kittles going back. He's the only guy other than Kenyon Martin who's got a basket, and Martin was on a stick back on a throwdown.
I will have to check out the Kerry Kittles situation as to why he is headed back to the locker room. Kittles only 3 of 8 from the field.
And New Jersey somehow, Marv, has to slow down the Lakers at their offensive end. They got to get some stops.
The Nets 4 for 20 shooting. This coming off that 6 for 22 in game one. Lakers 23, Nets 15 as we approach 2 minutes to go in this first quarter. Oh, shot by Rick Fox. Rick Fox, you recall, opened up in quiet fashion in the Western Conference semifinal series against Sacramento, then came on strong the last 3 games, had a solid performance in game one, and he's played well here in the first quarter. The tip missed by Lucius Harris.
Rick Fox is the perfect complementary player. Everything is moving, flowing magnificently for Los Angeles right now. They are toying with New Jersey.
Here's the double to Harden, comes over trying to steal the ball, and then Horry not able to handle it. It's a 5-on-2 Kidd for Jefferson. 5-on-2 break by New Jersey. Now the Lakers get it down. Nets did not get that.
As soon as you said 5-on-2, first thing in my mind is, well, who's staying back? Because you know Shaq's not going to race back on a transition defensive play.
It was a Laker power play the other way.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yes, you do, Bill. Harris tripped up, and that's the second committed by Bryant.
Now, remember in the fast break by New Jersey, you watch Shaq, and you got Robert Horry back there with him. Now, all you have to do is look up, and you're going to find Shaq right here ahead of the pack, and this is an easy play to make. Tell me he's not sucking a little gas.
They're ahead by 10 points. They're rolling. He's going to go take a breath and be right back.
And Kobe Bryant also takes a seat. Brian Shaw checks in. We talked the other night about Lucius Harris still playing with that protective gear, although he does not need it. Clear to play without the mask about a month ago, but says he's more comfortable. I ran into Lucius before the game, so I didn't recognize him without the headgear. He does not wear it around the hotel.
You got a little bit of a chance here to make up some ground in New Jersey without Shaq and Kobe out on the floor.
Oh, beautiful pass from Kidd to set it up, and Aaron Williams able to finish with just under 1 minute remaining in the first. The Laker lead is down to 6.
To show you how confident Phil Jackson is, he's got both Shaq and Kobe out at the same time.
Bryant sitting out after picking up his second foul. Lakers now have Samaki Walker playing the center position with Horry and Fox at the forwards.
And they got to gobble up every rebound and make a push. Kidd decides, let's hold for 1.
There is a 4-second differential between the game clock and the shot clock. Nets only 6 of 24 from the field, so that is worse than what took place in game 1. But they're down by just 6 points. The ball back to the Lakers.
To run a back cut like that, Kenyon Martin has to be closer to the elbow. He's way too far out. You can't throw a pass from that far away with both feet rooted to the ground. No touch whatsoever for the second-year player, Kenyon Martin.
Lindsey Hunter has come on for the first time. Anthony Johnson checking in for the Nets. 7/8 seconds remaining in the first. The difference has been at the foul line here for the Nets. They've hit 9 out of 10 off the bad pass. Here's Kidd. And handled by Fisher as time runs out. And this first one. But too late.
Lakers are throwing over the top against New Jersey's press. New Jersey's backline defenders have to take some gambles, try to come up with a steal.
Well, you know, the Lakers find different ways to excite their crowd, and this one brought a little ooh from everybody.
It was too late, but nice to look at. Lakers 11 of 19 from the field in this first quarter. The Nets just 6 for 25. Lakers up by 6. Welcome back to Los Angeles. Lakers with a 27-21 lead on the Nets after 1. And the scene in the huddle just moments ago.
Guys, we right there, baby. We shot the ball terribly. Like 23% for the first quarter. We 6 points down because we were aggressive. We were aggressive getting up and down the floor. We were aggressive on the defensive end. We didn't give them too many second shots, and we didn't turn the ball over a whole lot. Okay, that's how we got to play. 36 minutes of that type of basketball. Okay, let's stay aggressive on both ends of the court. All right, let's go, baby. Let's go.
Wow, quick mathematics. Byron Scott saying 23% shooting. Actually, and we have the benefit of Mr. Stats, our statistician Elliot Cal, it was 24% by the Nets as they hit 6 of 25.
But Byron Scott has done everything right in terms of his strategy, his attack, the offensive end. He just has to get some players playing ball and delivering, as opposed to just reacting and seeing whatever the Lakers do and then just taking the garbage that's left over.
You don't believe it or not, that speech was because they're lucky to be down by 6.
Well, they did it at the free throw line, 9 of 10 at the line. Shaquille O'Neal is back. Good defense here by the Nets. Shot clock to 4. Here's Lindsey Hunter. Rebound through the hands of Ori. Getty hits the deck. And last touch by Ori.
What are the closeout players for the Nets doing on the perimeter, running by a guy who has the shot clock running down on him? Please make some correct mental decisions out there.
Rookie Jason Collins has come on for the first time. Aaron Williams way off. Really shot that over the glass.
We have seen some ugly efforts by the Nets here early. And again, he's got to encourage his guys to keep shooting the ball, but they got to find a hot hand.
Aaron Williams defending on Shaquille O'Neal. Feeling for Williams. Goes to the drop step. Shaquille O'Neal thought he was fouled. He now has 14 points. Nets going with Harris and Johnson at the guards. Collins, Williams, and Jefferson up front. Recall, in game 1, Byron Scott went with the rookie Collins against Shaquille O'Neal. Collins did a decent job on Shaq in that fourth quarter. Johnson is able to hit. Anthony Johnson from the College of Charleston, playing for his 5th NBA team in 5 years. He's going to back up a point when Jason Kidd sits down.
So tough to back up a superstar. The Nets continue to pound the offensive level. It's 11 for them.
Lindsey Hunter to hit the 3. Foul is called on the Nets. Stay right here, says Meta Salvatore. It's on Jason Collins. Let's go to Lewis Johnson.
Marv, you may remember just before the end of the first quarter, Kerry Kittles left the court, went back to the training room with a rolled left ankle. Well, the trainers did a quick tape job on him, and he's back and now available. Marv?
Thanks, Lewis. 6-point. Laker lead. 2 minutes gone by in the second. Williams getting a piece of it. Nice play by Williams to slap it away from O'Neal.
The bench has given Phil Jackson nothing. No one has scored. No one getting any rebounds. They're turning the ball over. They're throwing up bricks. They're just riding on Shaquille's broad shoulders here, and that won't get it done.
Harris with a critical play to set it up for Collins.
Penetration and dish. Take the ball right at the big man. He'll come every time. And then guys like Collins, McCullough, and Aaron Williams, they've got to move into the open seam.
That was the best play in the last sequence of plays for them. They've all been over the top.
Ryan George puts it down. First points for the Laker bench.
Kobe Bryant sitting it out with 2 fouls. He's just salivating about the opportunity to get back out there and start running.
Lucius Harris is a guy that can make shots, and they've got to find ways to get him coming off the screens and get that jump shot cooking.
Harris rejected from behind by Shaw. And a timeout is called with 8:53 to go in this first half.
Lucius Harris curling off and then laying it down as Collins throws it down.
Well, the Lakers need Devin George to do this, and that's offensive rebound, and maybe he'll be the spark for the Lakers off the bench tonight.
Coverage today, courtesy of Goodyear and its fleet of airships, which reminds you to take all of life's journeys on the wings of Goodyear. Strong start again for Shaquille O'Neal, who blistered the Nets in game 1 on Wednesday night with 36 points, 16 rebounds.
Well, I admire, respect, and agree with Byron Scott's defensive strategy on Shaq. But his players are not presenting any level of obstruction. As Shaq is able to get his feet in the paint time and time again with nobody in front of him. You look at the shot chart here. These are just consistent throwdowns time and time again. Make him take a fadeaway.
Shot clock is down to 3. Jefferson. Rebounded by Jefferson. Oh, beautiful second effort by Richard Jefferson, and the Lakers now lead 31-27. Here's some pressure being shown now by New Jersey. Rick Fox had trouble finding a teammate, than Devin George back to help. Keith Van Horn has checked back in, so Van Horn is up front now with Collins and Jefferson.
Now, once they pressure and they get Fox running around, they can't just let him get it back up the floor.
Shaq doing it from all angles, little deeper shot. 7 of 9, 16 points.
He's having his way, and that is the ultimate decider in this ball game, what they can do if they can't find an offensive weapon themselves.
Anthony Johnson coming up with the air ball.
Out. Maybe they should give him the mask.
Lakers have led by as many as 10. They're up by 6. Kobe Bryant back on the floor, being guarded by Lucius Harris. Shot clock to 5. Bryant. And Van Horn is on it.
They will not be as successful in their open court without Jason Kidd out on the floor, so they're going to have to set.
Lakers have such a luxury because the defensive shot blocker never comes. He has to stay with Shaq.
Nice move by Van Horn, who was strictly a perimeter guy in game 1. That's his first field goal tonight.
They feel that he can post up Rick Fox, and if he gets successful, you can see Robert Horry coming up in that direction.
Oh, no doubt. Shaquille O'Neal hitting the deck and looked to be in pain as he and Collins were involved in that collision, and the fouls is on Shaq, banking his way and taking Collins down.
Well, finally, someone willing to put their body in front of Shaq. The referees will call this foul. Collins standing right there. Shaq just runs him over, and then his feet get tangled up there and goes down. Unfortunately, no one is hurt.
Bill Collins did a good job against Shaq the other night, although Shaq obviously had his way in terms of scoring, and Collins picked up fouls, but he did provide some degree of resistance.
He's a very good player, Jason Collins. Had outstanding coaching college. Mike Montgomery at Stanford.
Here's Fox with the roll. Lakers with many opportunities, open shots, and they're not hitting.
Well, that's allowing New Jersey to stay in it, but at this end of the floor, they got to be consistent. Lucius Harris came into the series shooting 55%. He's 1 for 9 so far, Mark.
How long is Jason Kidd going to sit out there?
Well, here comes Kidd, who's been out about 6.5 minutes. Went out late in the first quarter. The foul is called on Brian Shaw. Kidd replaces Johnson. Kenyon Martin will check in just a moment. And Richard Jefferson to the foul line.
Nets getting it done at the line, something that Sacramento could not do in the previous series against Los Angeles. That was their only second miss of the night, 9 for 11.
Don't forget, we'll be back Sunday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 Pacific, to bring you Game 3 of this NBA Finals Series. That's Game 3 of the Finals Sunday night, 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 Pacific, right here on NBC.
Which would you take? Made field goals or made free throws?
So much for getting it done at the line.
Lakers up by 4. George got the step. We have not seen that in weeks from Devin George.
Devin George completely lost his game, his rhythm, his confidence against Sacramento. Right now, though, everyone for Los Angeles seems to be having their way.
4-shot by Jefferson off the good defense from the Lakers. Here's George showing confidence. He wanted the shot. He takes it. Rebounded by Van Horn.
Run the give and go there. You got a guy up in the air. Give it up and get to the hoop.
Harris. And the net shooting continues to be inside. And the Lakers lead 37-29. Byron Scott wants to talk it over. 5:35 remaining in this first half.
The difference in this ball game is the Lakers are shooting a high percentage stuff led by Shaquille O'Neal, and the bricks are coming from the outside from the New Jersey Nets.
See Todd, the first time it was Todd, the last time it was just him. Shaq is coming down got to bump him or hold him up and do something. You can't let the guy go by and just get a dunk twice. Those are the mental mistakes I'm talking about. All right, we got to get into the game. All right,
well, I'm not sure that if you're one of the New Jersey Nets, you want to follow that advice. This is a big Mack truck on the loose, and nobody's going to get in the lane with Shaquille O'Neal. This is free and easy.
Get back on defense. Will somebody please take a charge? This is the NBA championship. This is the biggest stage that there is in the world of basketball. These guys are just not getting it done.
Well, Todd McCullough has checked back in, as has Kerry Kittles. Van Horn looking for the pick. Keith Van Horn with his second field goal hits a post up, and then the long jumper. The Lakers lead 37-31. Lakers at 52% from the field. The Nets at 27% continue to struggle with the shot, but they've done it at the foul line until the second quarter. Good play by Martin. It will be Laker ball with 9 on the shot clock.
Finally, Van Horn sticks one from the perimeter, but Van Horn and Martin are combined 15 for 45 in the series. Only 3 for 9 tonight.
Here's the line. O'Neal.
Throw down, big man. Call for the lob on the out-of-bounds play. Throw it down.
I'm waiting for the rest of that song. Other than throw it down. I know that's got to be the refrain, but, you know, they've not put any pressure on the passer. That allows Shaq to use his size and his strength against McCullough, and he's too late. And you're just not going to be able to make an impression on the Lakers unless you can score against them. This is not Boston. You know, New Jersey had a good time against Boston.
How about Shaq? 3 for 3 from the line. The foul on McCullough, his second. Shaq now has 21 points, 9 of 11 from the field.
I'm old enough to remember when Shaq used to miss free throws.
You don't have to be that old.
And one is rejected, but it will count. It's a goaltend against Shaquille O'Neal.
How old do you have to be?
But this is the kind of play you want to make if you're Shaq. We questioned whether the Lakers' self-motivation would be there tonight. Shaq, the big man, has already answered all of those questions.
Fox is foul. Took the body from Van Horn. The Nets with their third team foul. Non-shooting affair. The Lakers will put it in play.
What a play like that does on the defensive end for Shaq, it'll force him to think New Jersey every single time as Phil Jackson changes the plays from 3 to 5. But it'll force him to think every single time they go anywhere near the 15-foot area, he has destroyed their confidence. Shaquille O'Neal.
Martin played Fox very aggressively. Fox thought he was fouled. Lakers able to keep it alive. Bryant from Kobe with his fifth field goal is 10 points. Lakers 42, the Nets 33.
Kobe in the air is so disciplined. His concentration, his high follow-through. Oh, that's a traveling violation.
3 seconds. Take the pick.
Dial a violation. In the lane, breaks down the defense. It gets high in the face. Van Horn just gave up on it, but the ability to stay focused over a player. Van Horn is a full 6'10", maybe even 6'11", and he just teased him with the teardrop.
I don't like what I'm seeing from New Jersey, whose ability to... Pressure on the ball, and that's what's creating all the problems.
I've never seen a player do things like that on the reverse, going to the hoop for the lob throwdown.
Here's Kittles. O'Neal with the rebound. Fox, he has Bryant ahead of the field. Backs to shot. Last touch by O'Neal.
Shaq up and down the floor, running, working, determined. This is his.
That arthritic toe is feeling pretty good as Rick Fox was sent sprawling once again. 3:15 remaining in this first half. Lakers have their biggest lead of the night. Todd McCullough with his first field goal.
Yeah, they got to get something from Todd McCullough. Last year when he played for Philly, he was real good on pick and roll, but they're not involving him in that against Shaq tonight.
McCullough had that one big ball game, game 2 of the finals against the 76ers. Robert Horry. And that game, I should say against the Lakers for Philadelphia, 13 points in 16 minutes and did not score at all the rest of the series. Kittles. So Kerry Kittles with 9 points, and Phil Jackson takes a timeout.
Where's Jason Kidd? The guy's 0 for 3 on the night. Was Shaq just destroying, though, everything that New Jersey is trying to do, throwing it down with regularity. Jason Kidd has played 16 minutes and 0 points. It is the Shaquille O'Neal show tonight here at Staples. Who's going to do something about that?
All right, thank you, Bob. And we have the 1970 and 1973 NBA Finals Most Valuable Player in the building. Willis Reed with Jim Gray. Let's go to Jim.
All right, thanks, Marv. He's now been with the Nets for 14 years. He's the senior executive vice president. Did you ever think you would see the day when the Nets made it to the finals?
No, I thought I would be retired or fired when that happened. This is a great situation for the Nets, yes.
Now, you have played against Chamberlain, Russell, and Jabbar, so you can give us some perspective, but you haven't played against Shaq. Where would you rank him, and what do you think of his game?
Well, I think for the today's modern game today, he's the greatest big man in the game. He's unstoppable in terms of what he does. He's got all the shots, all the moves. He plays power most of the time, but tonight he's playing finesse and power tonight.
You said greatest of the day. Would he go with the greatest of all time?
Well, I don't like to rate guys in different eras. I think Russell was great in his era. I think Chamberlain was great in his era. Jabbar in his era. And right now, Shaq dominates his era.
Willis, no one will ever forget when you ran out and played hurt. So you can really identify with what Shaq is going through with the toe, with the ankles and the injuries. How difficult is it to... Yes, he's hurt in case
it don't look like it. Now, this is not the last 2 games.
But you can identify with playing with pain. What about the tremendous amount of courage and the ability to put that pain out of your mind? What does that take?
Well, I think he's very focused. I mean, for the last 4 games, with the last 2 games in Sacramento and watching this game and the game before with us, I mean, he's been very focused and he's really been doing a great job. He's been unstoppable inside. And I think that's because he wants to win and he is a winner.
Willis, thank you for your time. Good luck in this series. Nice to see you.
Thank you, Jim.
Marv, back to you.
All right, thanks, Jim. Well, we have the 1970, the 1973 Finals MVP, and Willis Reed did it with the championship New York Knicks. And we have the 1977 Finals MVP next to us. Bill Walton did it with the Portland Trail Blazers, defeating the Philadelphia 76ers.
Now that was a team.
Well, let's see if we can look at it and make some sense. Bill, when you played for Portland and Philadelphia had that great team, and you were down 2-0, what did you think? You think you still had a shot at winning?
The reason we were able to win was because of the genius of our coach, Jack Ramsey, who made us believe in ourselves. The toughness and the commitment, as Jack Ramsey called in the game on radio here, the toughness, commitment to the team of Maurice Lucas, who would not let us stop. And then the Blazer Maniacs, the fans who drove us, and it gave us their never-ending love.
Steve, does this sound like an acceptance speech from St. George? Jason Kidd not able to pretty good got a piece of it. Bill, congratulations. I don't know what you've just received. 1:25 remaining in the first half.
This is a clinic of how to play the center position. Scoring, rebounding, blocking, laying the passes off, breathing life and confidence into your teammates.
Van Horn is taken down, so he will head to the line.
Van Horn is their story here in the second half, but Bill, this is the kind of pass that just makes everybody see just how good Shaq is.
What a pass. You just saw the whole play before anybody else did. The defense just frozen. He's got the New Jersey Nets, Shaq does, spinning around, dazed and confused, wondering where on earth is the ball.
Reminder, tomorrow at 2 Eastern here on NBC, it's third-round coverage of the Senior PGA Championship heading into the weekend. Wayne Levy leads the field at 3 under. The first-round leader, Tom Kite, 3-time winner Hale Irwin, and the defending champ, Tom Watson, are all in the hunt. That's the Senior PGA Championship tomorrow, 2 o'clock Eastern Time on NBC. 1 minute remaining, first half. The Lakers up by 8. The crossover by Kobe Martin, and then draws the foul. Kenyon Martin called for the hack. So Bryant to the line. That also puts the Nets over the limit.
You know, the Nets are supposed to be able to pressure and stop the ball, and they haven't been able to. Then you combine it with the inability to score, you're not going to make an impression on the Lakers. Kobe's having a very easy game, just doing it when he wants to. Look, who's at the score table?
Mark Madsen checking in.
Crowd reacts. Mark Madsen with a rare appearance as Shaquille O'Neal sits down, and he is receiving an ovation. 10 of 13, 23 points for Shaquille O'Neal, along with 6 rebounds and that beautiful behind-the-back assist just a moment ago. Madsen only his 7th appearance of the postseason. Lakers now lead 49-40. We're just under 1 minute remaining in this first half. The Nets are 29% from the field. Kerry Kittle thought that he was fouled. The Lakers 21 for 37, on fire, 57% shooting.
New Jersey defensively is switching everything that they come across.
Collins getting a piece of Bryant in the crowd looking for a foul. Kobe is shaken up. Kobe Bryant back down court. Foul on Fox. So the Lakers over the limit. That's 3 on Fox. Kobe Bryant taking a shot in the chin.
But what transition defense by Los Angeles. Kobe down the lane here. The defense finally rotates. He loses the ball, so the play is over for him, and that forearm shiver to the face there certainly inflicts a lot of pain.
Well, he was hoping for a call, and the collision came after he'd lost the ball. Kerry Kittle, who had been pretty good, misses his first free throw.
Somewhere in Sacramento, they're saying that is payback for the Mike Bibby shot.
But Jason Kidd, 0 for 5. And this is the biggest game of his life. How are they going to win the championship if they don't win this game?
Well, Jason Kidd can have 0 for 5 quarters and halves. He's got to come back in the second half.
Lakers by 6, despite the sensational shooting. It's only a 6-point game because the Nets spending a lot of time at the line. They're now 13 of 18 at the foul line. Shot clock down to 5. George. 5 on the down and a half. Collins gets it ahead. Can Kittles get it off? No, it's waved off. So Myron Scott will be telling his team we did not play very well in this first half. Shaquille O'Neal, the reason that the Lakers are in front, the Nets shooting only 28% from the field, but within 6 points. Let's go to Jim.
All right, with Kobe Bryant, 11 points. Kobe, did they draw any blood? Are you all right? What happened on that play?
No, I'm all right. I'm all right. Little elbow didn't hurt.
They only shot 29%, the Nets, in the first half. They're just 6 points behind. Are you concerned that they shot so poorly and they're still in the ballgame?
Not really. I mean, we just continue to play our game. You know, if they start making shots, we'll have to make adjustments. But the most important thing is the rebound of basketball.
You talked about boredom after the first game. Is this more of a challenge here for the Lakers tonight?
Yeah, man, they're all challenging games. Once you get to the finals, it's all, you know, it's all a big challenge. And it's just a matter of coming out the second half, executing our offense, taking care of the basketball, taking smart shots, and hopefully we'll win the game.
Kobe, thank you for your time.
All right.
All right, Marv, back to you.
All right, thanks, Jim. The high point man of the game is Shaquille O'Neal, who has been unstoppable once again. 10 for 13 from the field, 23 points. How about Jason Kidd? 0 for 5 in the first half. Does have 7 rebounds and 3 assists, but has been out of the offense. So at halftime, it's the Lakers 49, Nets 43. Stay tuned for Verizon Wireless at the half with Bob Costas and Tom Tolbert. You're watching the NBA on NBC.
Jim Gray back at Staples Center as we get ready for the second half. Phil Jackson told his team they've got to play with much more energy here in the second half. Unhappy with the 9 turnovers. Unhappy that the team was out-rebounded 27-19. Unhappy with the Nets' 14 second chance points. He's also unhappy that they went to the foul line 18 times. He says, we better not be bored anymore. It's a game. Let's go down to Lewis Johnson with the Nets report.
All right, Jim. Well, I talked to Byron Scott and asked him if there's any answer for Shaquille O'Neal, any answer for the poor shooting, and he said, well, regarding Shaq, nobody in the league can stop him, including us. Their goal in the second half is to stop the other players. The shooting, Scott says he just hopes the shots will fall. And finally, I asked Kerry Kittles how that left ankle is, the one that he rolled in the first quarter. He told me it is sore, Marv.
All right, thanks, Lewis. Third quarter is underway. Kenyon Martin on the move is called for the charge. Offensive foul. That's his third foul. In the first half, the Nets ended up shooting 30%, just 15 of 49. The Lakers 55% from the field.
That was only the second offensive foul on the same possession. We didn't even get to see the one where Kenyon Martin ran over Derek Fisher here. This has not actually been Fisher-Spassky here with Kenyon Martin trying to get into the contest.
Fox not able to hit McCullough on the rebound. Kidd and Kittles in the backcourt. Martin is up front with Van Horn. And McCullough. Here is Jason Kidd, and that is his first field goal.
You know, Kidd is very streaky, but he's got to find a way to get into that area, get into the basket area, and really make an impression on the defense of the Lakers.
Fox for 3. Well, Byron Scott very fearful of both Fox and Horry hitting from the corner. Part of the game plan is they try to take away the pass into the corner, which usually gets the Lakers into the triangle if they do not take the shot. And Martin is hit. He's hit on the arm.
The strategy that Byron Scott is using is good. They're just not putting enough resistance on Shaq. Is the penetration into the lane, the crisp on the mark ball movement right into the shooting rhythm, and the rotation just a bit too slow. But the whole idea is to make Shaq work for his points. His points are coming too easy.
Again, they got to forget about Shaq. They got to get some control of their game. You don't get the sense that New Jersey feels they know how to play against the Lakers yet, and that's a bigger problem.
And it goes back to the point we were discussing at the start. It was only a 5-point game the other night, but you never had the feeling that the Lakers were in trouble off the steal. Fisher gives it back to Fox. And once again, this game is certainly not close to the Lakers putting it away, yet you don't get the feeling that the Nets are actually in it. So the Lakers now lead 54-45.
And while that whole play is unfolding, Horry is out in the basket area, is tipping it up time and time again. Kenyon Martin is laying on his backside out at the half-court stripe. What is going on here?
Jason Kidd called for the offensive foul.
And that's part of the reason we don't sense any control by New Jersey in this ball game. When they get the Lakers to make a mistake or they get the ball back, they're just not sure what they want to do. Kidd with a little push off and a turnover.
The Laker defense is so great. They got the big men who erase everything in the back line. The little guys on the perimeter, they just extend and they contain. They do not give up anything easy.
Shot clock down to 5. Bryant. Nets continue to do the job off the boards. They have severely out-rebounded the Lakers. Another Nets turnover. Here's Fisher, chased by Kittles, and foul. It's called in the act. Kittles committing his third. So Derek Fisher will shoot 2.
Rick Fox able to just throw it over the top as Derek Fisher, not a speed merchant by any stretch of the imagination. Harry Kittles, you'd almost think, because of his size and athleticism, would be able to send that one back. Byron Scott just shaking his head in dismay. And this is not the team that got us here to this final position.
That's unusual for Derek Fisher, who is an excellent free throw shooter. Byron Scott, who played 11 of his 14 NBA seasons with the Lakers, a starter in 3 of their 5 championship teams in the 1980s. Second season as head coach of the Nets, a member of 3 Laker championship teams during the Showtime era.
Well, Scott feels that his team is a team of destiny, but they've got to find a way to get some sort of rhythm at this end.
Well, there's some rhythm in that shot by Kerry Kittles from downtown. He now has 15 of the Lakers lead by 6.
Shaq's only had 1 real touch in the low post here in the third.
Bryant took the hit from McCullough. No call made as
Kobe's looking at the refs and saying, where's the foul?
O'Neal spinning his way, and he is fouled. McCullough and Kidd combining, and it's on McCullough. That is his third.
Kobe splits this double team so beautifully. Todd McCullough comes in and does a nice job of getting his body in the way. Then nothing anyone can do about keeping Shaq from moving side to side.
But you're looking at Kobe out there talking to Don Vaden, the official, and saying, what is the foul? And when I make that spin, the guy can't come underneath me, take my legs away.
Shaq hit his first 3 at the line. He has certainly improved his free throw shooting, although had his difficulties in the fourth quarter. In game 1, hitting only 8 of 16 from the line in the fourth. That is point number 24 for O'Neal. Lakers 55, Nets 48. This game 2 of the NBA Finals. Game 3 in New Jersey on Sunday night starting 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Kidd for 3. O'Neal on the box out, getting position.
Now that is a rebound.
Fisher. O'Neal.
Last time down, who would you rather have shoot? Kerry Kittles or Jason Kidd? At this point, Kittles has got to shoot all those open shots. Kidd tossed up the 3.
And the foul called. Offensive foul on Martin. That's number 4.
This has not been his finest hour.
Now Kenyon just 1 for 5 from the field, only 4 points.
He gets a little guy here, and he's just so concerned about throwing a little guy out of the way. Get what you want smoothly and efficiently. You don't have to be so vehement in terms of throwing guys down.
O'Neal played well by McCullough. A Kidd pushing it, but the Lakers get back. Lakers have done a good job on Jason Kidd. They do pick up a foul, but they've been able to stop the ball.
Their transition defense is outstanding.
But when you are struggling, you got to go with the guys that are making buckets for you. So that means Kittles and Van Horn have got to see the ball, and on this play, Jason Kidd has no idea where either one of those guys are. So he's got to do a better job of finding his shooters to keep them in the ball game.
Foul on Fisher. That is his third. 2 team fouls apiece. 4 minutes gone by in this third quarter. Kittles lost it. It's a 3-on-1. Broken off nicely by Jefferson.
A terrific play by Jefferson, because that was 2 for the Lakers, who haven't done a lot of really sprinting up and down the floor in order to get those kinds of breaks with the little guys. Shaq has had his way.
Richard Jefferson looking like a backpedaling defensive back to break that one up.
Extremely gifted athletically, Richard Jefferson is. Needs some more offensive opportunities, and McCullough showing in the back.
That's number 4. On McCullough, the other night we saw a combination of Todd McCullough, Aaron Williams, Jason Collins. Byron Scott waiting for the fourth quarter to go with Collins in game 1. Now Aaron Williams will check in. So Todd McCullough with his 4th foul will sit down. McCullough with just 1 field goal, 5 rebounds.
And Aaron Williams shot the ball extremely well coming into this, and he's having a rough time at the offensive and defensive end.
Bryant changed his mind, did not shoot for 3. Beautiful ball movement.
Perfect execution of the triangle offense. Everybody handling the ball, crisp passing, resulting in the layup.
Kidd. So Jason Kidd with his 2nd field goal. Lakers up by 7.
Remember that was the play that Mike Bibby was so effective on. Make Shaq guard him.
I'll tell you, Steve, when Shaq starts waving that ball around and the ball fakes, it's just the defense starts lunging so confused they have no idea what he's doing.
Foul on Kittles. That is number 4. 4 apiece on Kittles, Martin, and McCullough.
Here's the bulletin, Bill. They don't have any idea what he's doing when he's not waving it around.
I'd like to see Willis Reed come out here and play Shaq.
At his age now, or are you talking about when Willis was
at his age now? No, I remember how great Willis Reed was.
Lucius Harris has checked back in. Fox with the step. Here's Fisher from way downtown. And O'Neal able to keep it alive. And he is fouled by Williams.
Williams is a strong guy. But Aaron Williams tried to foul Shine. That's how big and strong Shaquille O'Neal is.
Shaq gets the ball, and you can see that Aaron Williams just never got a good position. And when he is reaching and grabbing, you're not going to do anything with Shaq. Timeout by the Lakers.
Aaron Williams goes 6'9", about 230, and it was Aaron who went flying. 5 minutes gone by in the third. Our aerial views are brought to you by the Goodyear Blimp Eagle, based in Carson, California. As we welcome you back to Staples in Los Angeles. Marv Albert, Bill Walton, Steve Snapper Jones. Lakers up by the score 57-50. Shaquille O'Neal getting set to head back to the foul line. He's 4 for 5 at the line.
Shaquille O'Neal guarded tonight by Todd McCullough. Got 16 big points. Then got 7 dunks on the night, throwing it down with consistent regularity. Nobody having any sort of answer. But a bigger problem for New Jersey is their offense, which is just non-existent.
But as Shaq goes to the line, let's take a good look at his feet. Sacramento Kings complaining that he steps over before releasing that shot. And, of course, Mark Cuban of the Dallas Mavericks made the point. The Nets said they would not get into it. Complaints about Shaq illegally crossing the plane of the foul line before the shot hits the rim. And apparently earlier, Shaquille had something to say about that. Let's go to Jim Gray for more on the Shaq free throw shooting controversy as Jason Kidd is able to hit on his 3rd field goal.
All right, Marvel, I spoke to Shaquille O'Neal before the game. He was upset with some comments by Rick Adelman today that he heard. He had a response. He says, the more you complain, the more not dominant I will become. All of this will do nothing. As he will go to the foul line once again on that dunk. All of this will do nothing but make me mad. He didn't complain when I was missing. I have the following to say to Mark Cuban and Rick Adelman. Don't cry, just dry your eye. Mark?
All right.
Well, he is right about one thing. When he was stepping over the line and missing it was fine. Now that he's making them, they're saying it's illegal. So, you know, Shaq is Shaq. He's going to have those games where he makes a lot of free throws. He's also going to have those games where he misses a lot.
If he steps over the line, if it's a violation, it has to be called make or miss.
I agree. I think they have to start calling it next season. It's similar to the balk rule in baseball. Once it's called, guys adjust.
Call it every single time, like a foot fault in tennis.
Here's Kidd for 3. So Jason Kidd beginning to heat up. He was 0 for 5 in the first half, and he's hit 4 out of 5 here in the 3rd quarter. He has 9 points. The Laker lead is 6. Fisher, yes. Derek Fisher with his first field goal.
Los Angeles' offense is so beautiful. The splits on the ball on the strong side, over the top. Kobe
Bryant, a 10-point lead.
When you shoot quick and deep, you got to get that rebound, and they don't get the rebound, and that's what's turning the Lakers loose.
The Nets take a timeout with 5.5 remaining in the 3rd.
Derek Fisher coming off the big back screen by Shaq, who just lays it out there.
We always talk about long outlet passes, and when you miss a shot, that's what happens. And Kobe Bryant under control.
back in L.A. Well, the Shaq bobblehead doll has hit 2 for 4 here tonight against the Nets. 5 rebounds.
Throw it down.
A look along Celebrity Row. John Lithgow on hand. Michelle Pfeiffer. Dustin Hoffman, a regular. Pat Staples. Selma Hayek taking in the finals, as is Andy Garcia. Mark Wahlberg. David Spade. And it would not be a Laker game without Jack Nicholson.
The beard is looking very strong for Jack.
Lakers up by 10, 5.5 remaining in the third. Jason Kidd beginning to hit his shot after the bad start. Sets it up for Van Horn. Able to beat Horry. Kept alive. And they get the new 24. That's going with Kidd and Harris in the backcourt. Williams, Jefferson, and Van Horn up front. Offensive foul on Kidd. That's his third. And Kidd is hurt as he went knee to knee.
He's a very tough guy. You can only hope that he can continue playing. They come in a collision there, and Jason just comes up very sore-legged. 4 assists, 4 turnovers for Jason Kidd.
Jason trying to walk it off as he's guarding Fisher. O'Neal working on Williams. Fisher beating Kidd off the dribble. Try to draw the foul. Van Horn able to take it out of his hands. Here's Kidd. Crowd looking for another offensive foul, but it's a block on Fox.
Great crossover by Kidd that time, who's still dealing with that leg that doesn't seem to be responding. The explosion, the change of pace, change of direction, easy play to call as he's already outside of the defensive stance footwork presented by Rick Fox.
Well, to quote someone famous, these are the championships. You got to play with pain, so he's going to have to stay in the game. He's got 9 here in the quarter. He's got to find a way to not only keep his offense going, but he's got to get his teammates going.
But a bigger problem for New Jersey, a lot of teams in this league face it, they don't have a guy that you can just give the ball to like Shaq and Kobe and say, get me 2, get me to the line, get the other team in serious, deep foul trouble.
That is the major problem for the Nets. There is not a big-time scorer, which you can get away with in the Eastern Conference. And the Nets with that remarkable turnaround, 26 wins a year ago. This year, best record in the East at 52-30.
Shaq wanting to repost, and he got it, but they called 3 seconds.
Saw the violation, the ball back to New Jersey.
It's amazing how coaches want everything. Now, Phil Jackson is over there complaining. You know, count is too quick. You got to let my guy get that spot.
3 seconds. How about 12?
Kidd puts the move on Fisher despite that knee problem, and Derek Fisher collects his 4 apiece on Fisher and Fox, and the Nets in foul trouble. 4 on Martin, McCullough, and Kittles. Kidd is playing with 3. Brian Shaw will replace Derek Fisher.
Come right back now if you're New Jersey to Jason Kidd and just isolate again and get to the hoop, drive the ball to Shaq.
Lakers' 4th team foul. Van Horn for 3.
Those shots have got to go down. You're trying to beat a great team. I think one of the great teams in NBA history, and they're playing just average basketball at best.
Just under 4 remaining in the third. Bryant for 3.
The Nets are basically a layup team, an inside team, get rebounds, put them back up. They're not a great perimeter team, and the Lakers are going to make them try to win the games from out there.
O'Neal on the recovery, looking up foul once again by Aaron Williams, who took a ride on Shaquille O'Neal.
Do you ever get the sense that playing against Shaq is like playing against your older brother when you were a kid? And no matter what you did, it's just not enough, and the only thing you can do is sneak up on him, hit him first, and then run as long and as fast as you can and hope that your mom and dad are nearby. to maybe save you.
Yeah, this has not been fun for Todd McCullough, Aaron Williams, and Jason Collins.
Well, that tells you just how much of a test the Lakers have against the Sacramento Kings, because the Lakers have pretty much been able to have their way, and New Jersey has to find some sort of formula, particularly at the defensive end. Stop the ball first, then they can worry about Shaquille O'Neal, but that ball is moving too freely.
Devin George has checked back in, replacing Rick Fox. And Shaq hitting the free throws. Shaquille now 8 for 10 from the line. It is 32 points. Lakers have their biggest lead of the night. They're up by 13. Jefferson guarded by George. Here's Kidd popping it out. Shot clock down to 4. Harris. Shot. Bryant has Shaw with him. Overthrow. And back comes Van Horn.
That was a heat check.
Harris for 3. Comes back to Harris. Shoots again for 2.
This guy's a good shooter, Lucius Harris.
Yeah, he has really had his problems. 0 for 9 from the field. And a foul call.
Well, you're not going to beat the Lakers with one-on-one play. And that's what we're getting from New Jersey. They've got to get the ball moving. They've got to get people cutting to the hoop. The time that they have, they've been able to score. They've been able to go to the rim. If you're going to go one-on-one in a set offense, you're going to end up fighting the clock, and then when you throw it up, it's going to come from the outside.
The Lakers are an outstanding defensive team. They have all the elements. They can shut you down whatever you try to do.
Johnson coming on for Jason Kidd. Kenyon Martin, despite the 4 fouls, will check back in, replacing Keith Van Horn. You mentioned Lucius Harris, usually a very fine shooter. In the 2 games, 1 for 14. He might flip that mask away.
Might? I mean, if I'm Byron Scott, I go over there and I take the mask off and say, come on, I want Lucius Harris. I don't want Zorro out here.
O'Neal 10 of 12 from the line. He has 34. Lakers have extended to a 15-point margin. Aaron Williams.
That's the shot he made against Boston. This is a different level.
Nets have missed their last 8 shots. The drop step. 36 points for Shaq and a 17-point lead.
And counting.
Well, it just appears that they don't have an answer either way. If you can't make shots and you can't stop the ball, then you're going to see the score run up. And right now, the Lakers having a good time of it.
I think Byron Scott has to come back with Jason Kidd right now.
Here's Shaw for 3. To the double team, and it opened up for Brian Shaw. And they're getting killed in every aspect of the game. And that's also not able to hit a shot. They missed their last 9. A 12-0 run by the Lakers. A minute 45 remaining in the 3rd. The Lakers up by 20.
It was only a question of when the dam was going to break, and the Lakers took a 6-point lead and just continued to extend it. And that's what they've done. They've been able to get the ball attack whenever they wanted. They've not been able to stop it. That means perimeter people have been able to get wide open shots. Up by 20.
We'll be back after these messages and a word from your local station. June 17th, and by golly, amazing how these things work. There is Brooke Burns, the host of Dog Eat Dog. What a coincidence.
It's amazing how you can do that, Marty. I mean, you just start thinking about things, and these people show up on your television screen. Digital, Bill.
Kenyon Martin is hit from behind by Robert Horry. Minute 37 remaining in the 3rd. Lakers with a 77-57 lead. Let's check it with Lewis Johnson. Lewis?
All right, Marvin, that last time out, Byron Scott trying to keep his troops focused on this game. He says, I know the shots are not falling, but right now with 135 to go, 137 to go, we need to make one run, just one run to close the 20-point gap. Marv?
Thanks, Lewis. Martin only a 67% free throw shooter. Jason Kidd 0 for 5 in the first half. Did come out in the third quarter. All 11 of his points in the third quarter. 11 of that's 14 points. The Nets are 5 for 16 from the field in the third. They have missed their last 9 shots. Here's Aaron Williams, and that ends that particular streak.
I think that they have to start thinking about game 3 and a game plan that will work. So use this final quarter to get something going to where you actually believe you have a chance you can win and not talk about, well, if we make a run.
Comebacks happen when somebody's playing well. You cannot look at one New Jersey Net player and think that guy's really got it going.
And off the hustle, it's deflected out of bounds. Last touch by the net. Samaki Walker has come on for Shaquille O'Neal. Shaq 13 of 19, 36 points, 8 rebounds.
The first thing you have to do if you're New Jersey is find a way to compete. Try to find a way to make it difficult for the Lakers to do what they want, and they haven't done it in either one of these games.
Williams, but not able to put it down.
He was so open, he was stunned.
Jefferson going to the crossover and stripped.
But that last drive of Kobe, no help. He goes in naked and he misses. He wants to get there again.
Lost it. Martin played him well. Harris has a 3-on-2. Martin gives it up. And so much for the 3-on-2. Johnson. But the Nets able to convert.
Laker transition defense. And they know how good New Jersey is, particularly when Jason Kidd is in the game. Now, Jason has not had a good series at this point. They are totally focused in on getting back, something they normally do not do.
Final seconds of this third quarter. Bryant with the feed for Shaw over to Walker. He was looking for a foul call as this third quarter concluded.
What a pass by Brian Shaw. Now that guy's fun to play with.
Kobe does everything right except finish. We've seen that a few times in the championship drive for the Lakers where he's lost control of the ball. And on the way up, he loses control of the ball and hits the back iron, but he can't believe it. And the big fella, he's stunned as well.
Smiles all around here at Staples. They're laughing at themselves right now.
After 3, the Lakers lead by 16. Lakers shooting 52% from the field, led by Shaquille O'Neal, 36 points, 13 coming in the third. Welcome back to Staples in Los Angeles. Marv Albert, Bill Walton, Steve Snapper Jones, Jim Gray, Lewis Johnson, the entire crew on hand as we head to the fourth quarter. The Lakers up by 16. It has been a horrendous shooting performance by the Nets over the first 2 games.
You know, the Lakers are a good defensive team, but they're not that good. And New Jersey is a team that came in with the reputation of being a sprint team, a layup team. You've got to make perimeter shots. They're not doing it, and they got to get out of L.A. They got to get back home, and they got to get into their comfort zone.
Balderdash.
More of that?
The Lakers are a great defensive team. Who has been able to get good looks?
We just did a whole series of good looks for Sacramento.
And they missed them.
Are you guys finished?
Shaquille O'Neal scares the other team.
Are we on the air, Steve?
I don't know where he is.
Incidentally, Game 3 in New Jersey, Sunday night, 8 o'clock Eastern Time, right here on NBC. Fourth quarter is underway. Shaquille O'Neal remaining on the bench. Samaki Walker is up front along with Robert Horry and Devin George. George, yes. A bit more confidence in that shot here tonight.
Well, the pressure's not on him.
But if you're going to make a run build, you got to make it against this group with Shaq sitting down. Kobe is not really dominating things, but, you know, he's still a big threat out there, but they've got to get some sort of scoring from the rest of their team.
Martin has been very quiet. Jefferson on the follow, so 10 points for the rookie Rich Richard Jefferson. Lakers lead 79-63.
More importantly for New Jersey than how things are going right now is where they're going to go from here and what Kenyon Martin is going to do to be able to make himself a dominant figure in this finals.
And the foul on Walker, a holding foul.
But Kenyon Martin has not been a dominant figure in the playoffs. They've played well as a team, and they've gotten some great contributions from Harris, Kittle's kid, and that is lacking against the Lakers.
The Lakers, you just their defense.
Kittles from downtown. Kerry Kittles has shot the ball well. He now has 18 points.
You got Shaquille O'Neal, who's the best defensive center in basketball. You got Kobe Bryant, who's a phenomenal defensive player. Robert Horry, is there a better defensive power forward?
Offensive foul.
What I'm saying, Bill, is the Nets have had a ton of wide open shots. You got to make those shots. Forget all of the laurels for those other guys. When you're wide open and you miss, you don't have to go.
Foul on Walker once again. Minute and a half gone by. And the fourth. Here's Kidd. Yes. A three for Kidd and the Nets with a little flurry here at the start of the fourth. 8 unanswered, and they cut it to that Laker lead. 20, it's down to 10.
And how long does Phil Jackson leave Shaquille O'Neal on the bench? Shaq's already starting to take his towels off. He wants in this action now. Enough of this sitting it out.
Here's Shaw for three. Now this is what occurred in game 1, where the Nets did rally and made their move in the fourth quarter, and they're making the move right here. Jason Kidd again with a three. 13 unanswered points. Phil Jackson wants a timeout. It's a 7-point game with 9:43 remaining in this fourth quarter.
And in this run, they made shots. After the Martin miss, this is the guy that got them started. Richard Jefferson, they followed up with a deep shot from Kerry Kittles, and then the rest of the show, Bill, belongs to...
They make this great run with Shaq on the bench. If he is not back in when we return, I will be stunned.
Reminder, tomorrow at 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific, right here on NBC, the final leg of the Visa Triple Crown, the Belmont Stakes. They're expecting a record crowd of 85,000 tomorrow. War Emblem going for racing's greatest prize, the Triple Crown. The Belmont Stakes tomorrow at 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific on NBC. It's a 15-2 run for the Nets to get back into it. Shaquille O'Neal has made his return. Here's Kobe Bryant, and he draws the foul.
Everything changes the minute the big man walks back out on that court. All the driving lanes open up like the parting of the Red Sea. The defense has to worry about pinching back in on Shaq, so they are no longer able to contain on the perimeter. And Kobe to the line once again.
Foul call on Kenyon Martin. That is number 5 on Martin. Kobe Bryant 1 for 2 from the foul line.
Well, Jefferson did a good job, so if Kenyon Martin does foul out of this ball game, Jefferson can play in his position. He'll go back to Keith Van Horn, but Kittles and Kidd are making shots right now, and they got to keep that up.
And the Nets have been able to rally by virtue of successful three-point shooting. Overall, they're only 5 for 15, but 3 for 3 here in the fourth quarter. 81-72, Lakers on top after leading by as many as 20. Can't get in the stop from behind.
That is such a great play by Shaq. Forces the miss and then turns around and grabs the rebound that he intimidated. That's what great centers do.
Now Collins defending on O'Neal with help from Jefferson. So this will open up the perimeter shooting for the Lakers. The Nets going to the double team.
Last time down, Jason Kidd tricked himself. He had a layup and should have stuck it out there with his right hand.
Kittle's wide open for 3. And they continue to hit from downtown. The Nets are within 6 points. That 20-point Laker lead has evaporated.
Kerry Kittle's showing that he is the stick that they need and coming back to life here in the fourth.
Horry lost it. And here comes Kittles from downtown. Rebounded by Bryant. Well, the Nets had hit their previous 4 3-pointers.
Lakers are totally out of rhythm, out of sync right now. They've got to get back to busting through their offense, cutting hard without the ball, and getting the ball to Shaq on the move.
Collins fell down. He thought he was pushed. No call made, and Shaquille O'Neal able to take advantage.
How is that not an offensive foul? Jason Collins is standing right there and gets thrown to the ground.
That is a poor man's imitation of Vlade Divac.
I totally disagree.
Jefferson, nice pass. Collins hit by George. So the foul on Devin George.
And you go back and you look at that play and you'll get to sing your favorite song. Shaq's going to come across the lane. He was falling down before he even gets there.
There is no history whatsoever of Jason Collins being a flopper. Shaq able to throw it down by himself. He does not need that sort of advantage by allowing himself to run over a stationary defender.
So Rick Fox back in. Brian Shaw checks in. Robert Horry and Kobe Bryant will sit out. Collins, a 70% free throw shooter. He says he wants to be a broadcaster after his playing career. Watch out, guys.
Well, let's hope he plays a long time.
Graduated with a communications degree from Stanford.
Backcourt pressure the first time here in the second half.
7.5 remaining, fourth quarter, 6-point. Laker lead after leading by as many as 20. Here's George. O'Neal to the rebound, and he is fouled by Collins.
Just over the top. Shaq does a very good job. Shaq's over there talking to Devin George, saying, look, either make a shot or give it up. Shaq over the top here in good position and then just lowers his shoulder. I would say that's an offensive foul.
Is that what he said to Devin George?
Absolutely. Come on.
Make a shot or get out of here. Huh?
No, give it up.
Oh, give it up, I'm saying.
And if you don't give it up, then get out of here.
Shaq is 10 of 12 at the line. All right, let's go to Jim Gray. Jim?
Mark, before the game, I saw Shaq's college coach, Dale Brown, who's here in the crowd tonight, and he said that Shaq went to Tex Winter in the preseason and said, Tex, tell Phil, I don't want to coach this year. I don't want any help. I don't want any other schemes. I want nothing. I don't want to look at videotape. I want to figure this out on my own. And Coach Brown says that because he figured it out on his own, now he's very comfortable, and that's what's caused his improvement. Mark?
All right, thanks, Jim. Shaquille now has 40 points. Lakers with an 85-77 lead, and a defensive 3-second call will lead to the technical foul.
A bailout there because Jason Kidd was changing pivot feet with every tick of the 24-second shot clock that time.
It wonders how you can spot these little foot movements, but you can't see when a guy just parallel through somebody.
Well, the Nets are now 17 of 25 from the line.
You know, when you're trying to come back, you got to have every single offensive effort go down, and so Kidd and New Jersey have got to find some more offensive rhythm.
That is a very difficult shot for Jason Kidd. For anybody with the exception of Kobe Bryant, Tracy McGrady, and Allen Iverson.
Kidd is now 6 of 14. He opened up 0 for his first 5 in the first half. He's come out in the second half. Fisher. Fisher was looking for the corner. Able to hang in. And the Lakers lead by 10.
Byron Scott was looking for an offensive foul. Wonder what's going on around here. He's still perplexed and riding these referees.
Kittle's being guarded by Shaw. Good pick by Martin. Shaw got a piece of it.
All right, Kittles is the guy that's making shots on a consistent basis. At some point, you've got to decide as a team how many times you're going to get him the ball.
Well, Kidd does just that. Kittles with the runner. So Jason Kidd able to find Kerry Kittles. Kittles the high man for the Nets with 23.
What a beautiful pass by Jason Kidd, driving the ball at other people's defenders, forcing the double team, setting up his teammates.
Fisher for three. Yes.
Now, the Lakers haven't had a great three-point shooting night, and if they're so concerned about Shaq, let's see if the Lakers can make some deep shots.
Kidd for three. And a tripping foul charged to Jefferson. 5:36 remaining in the fourth quarter. It's the Lakers up by 11. We'll be back in Los Angeles in a moment. There is no question that the elevation and the energy is back in the game of Shaquille O'Neal. Another dynamic performance. 40 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists.
And the decision in game one of Byron Scott to single coverage and stay at home. Shaq has whatever he wants, so he just overpowers the rookie, the young, inexperienced Jason Collins. Then in game two, things are a little bit different. They give Shaq different looks, which is a good strategy. Make him make constant decisions. Shaq gives it up. I think he's the best passing big man in the game today. The shots have been falling for Los Angeles. And while the defensive effort has been good, the numbers for Shaquille from game one, game two, the 6 assists tonight, free throws, absolutely outstanding. Where is the forward production for New Jersey? Kenyon Martin and Van Horn, ouch. Martin 1 for 7, 4 points. Van Horn 3 for 8, 9 points. That won't get it done.
Horry's pass rejected by Martin. Still 10 on the shot clock. Here's Fox for three. 5 minutes and 15 seconds to go in the fourth. Lakers up by 11. Led by as many as 20, a 15-2 run by the Nets. Got them back into it, but the Lakers have that double-digit lead. Collins. So the Laker lead is now 9.
What I'd like to see from New Jersey really is a good offensive scheme about how they're going to get their scores. I mean, they're just kind of dribbling it around, and if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, the Lakers get it back.
But the problem is, Lakers now have Kobe Bryant on Jason Kidd.
Good play by Collins, and it's a jump ball.
Collins has been, without question, the best big man that Byron Scott has come up with. Shaq, how many points does Shaq have? 40? Well, Todd McCullough has 2. Aaron Williams has 4. Collins has 6. Maybe the 4th-string center will have 8.
But Collins has done the best job at the defensive end on Shaquille O'Neal.
In every aspect. The position, the aggressiveness, the confidence, the thought process.
Well, Jason Collins with vivid memories of the 40-point game that Shaq had during the regular season. Not completely on Collins, but he was burned. Another 24-second opportunity for the Lakers. Fisher surprising O'Neal by going behind the back. Kidd, nowhere to go, had to throw back. Here's Kidd, and the foul, blocking foul on Fisher.
Well, Jason Kidd, when he's on the drive, he's like a fullback, and he's just bullying Derek Fisher. Once he gets him moving, he's getting that shoulder into him, and he's getting the advantage, and yet the call is going the other way. A big second half for Jason Kidd. Got to put 2 halves together if you're going to beat the Lakers.
3 team fouls apiece. That was number 5, though, on Fisher. Shot clock down to 5. Here's Kittles for 3. Bryant with the save. Crowd urging the Lakers on. They lead by 9 as they seek to make it a 2-0 lead in this best of 7 as they head back to New Jersey for the game on Sunday night. Horry, O'Neal, and a holding foul.
And what Shaq has done very well tonight is offensive rebound. He's put himself in a position where he can be first to the ball. Jason Collins is saying, I'm boxing him out. He's got to be coming over my back, but he's up in the air before Collins leaves the ground.
That was number 3 on Collins. 2 months ago, Shaq had that 40-point game for the most part against Collins. Todd McCullough was injured, did not play, and Collins fouled out in 20 minutes in that game. Fisher's pass broken up. Good hustle by Fox. Lots of time on the clock.
Get the ball to Shaq. What are they thinking?
Well, here it is. O'Neal.
Has got a lot of learning to do here. How many rebounds for Kenyon Martin? 4. To go along with what is it? 4 points.
Here's Kidd shooting the 3.
You're not going to beat the Lakers with hoping that the three-point shot is going to be your basic weapon. You've got to be able to mix in that high percentage too. Fisher to the line.
Fisher fouled in the act. Kenyon Martin just 1 for 7 from the field as a follow-up to that 7 for 22 in game 1. Foul on Collins. That's number 4. Here's Shaquille O'Neal powering his way on Collins, and Robert Horry is there to put it down. 2:46 remaining in the 4th. Lakers by 11. Well, the Nets have 2 timeouts remaining, have a full and a 20. Lakers 2 and a 20. 2:46 remaining in this 4th quarter. Derek Fisher back to the line. He is 0 for 2 from the line. Most unusual for Fisher to have difficulty at the line. So the Lakers now lead by 12 in that 15-2 run. Back 3rd quarter into the 4th. Would you call it a cosmetic run on the part of the Nets? You never had the feeling that they're back in the ball game.
Fool's goal is what you'd call it, because the points came on the lowest percentage shot in the 3-point field goal, and they were hoping that they could continue to make them, and that shot broke down as well.
Fool's goal is right because it was at the upper part.
Kenyon Martin. It's only a second field goal. He has 6 points. His moment tonight.
Well, he's got 2 baskets, both on dunks, both on stick backs. I mean, how about a game? How about some moves?
Horry for 3. And Kidd fires it down. Martin will try to save it, but stepped out of bounds.
Kidd was the only one that knew where that ball was going. Martin got a late start, and you could tell it was just going to run away from him. Don't do a good job of converting. The Lakers have it back, and Kobe has not had a big-time game, and the Lakers have been in cruise control.
New Jersey's adjustments have to be more on the offensive end than on defense.
Horry thought he was fouled. Fisher right on target, and the shot has returned for Derek Fisher. That's a 3, his 2nd straight. He has 12 points. Lakers lead 97 to 83. Here's Kills for 3. And Shaquille O'Neal with rebound number 12. Only 2 teams in the history of the NBA Finals have ever come back from a 2-0 deficit. That's not to say that it can't be done, but it's very difficult. It's over the hit from downtown. The 1969 Boston Celtics beat the Lakers, and Bill York, 1977 Portland Trail Blazers down 2-0 to the Sixers, came back to take the series. The Nets will be in that position when the scene shifts to the Continental Airlines Arena for game number 3 on Sunday night. Lakers up by 17. Coming up tonight, following the Lakers and the Nets and your late local news. Stick around for the Tonight Show with Jay Leno. And tonight, Jay welcomes Chris Webber and Mike Bibby from the Sacramento Kings, actor James Garner, and the music of No Doubt. The Tonight Show with Jay Leno following your late local news. And for those of you who would like to continue with the NBA Finals, we'll have a post-game special on CNBC immediately following the game. The NBA Finals post-game special on CNBC, hosted by Hannah Storm, along with the Czar, Mike Fratello, Tom Tolbert, Peter Vesey, all on hand. Just a minute 15 remaining in this 4th quarter.
The celebration is underway in Los Angeles.
Foul is called. Richard Jefferson taking the shove. Red Fox, number 5. The rookie from Southern California, Brian Scalabrine. has come on for the first time for the Nets.
Well, the victory cigar went in at the break. Mark Madsen came in, and everybody cheered, and they had a comfortable lead in. The big fella walks off, and Mark Madsen back in as Shaq dominated this ball game.
Shaquille O'Neal receiving standing ovation. 40 points for Shaq, 14 for 22 from the field, 12 rebounds, and most impressive, 6 assists.
Equally as impressive was his psychological intimidation here. Plus 36 while he's on the floor. Why did they ever take him out?
Coming up on a minute remaining in this fourth quarter.
Well, they figured they need at least 2 more wins, Bill. They don't want to wear him out. They feel that they're winning this game here comfortably in both halves, so they gave him a breather.
He's wearing them out. He's not getting worn down.
Bryant, yes! Downtown. 21 points for Kobe Bryant. Shot the ball very well, 8 for 14 from the field. Also has 7 rebounds and 5 assists. Johnson, Horry able to gather it in. Just a half minute to go in the game. The Lakers will shoot just under 50% for the night, while the Nets at 35%. Standing ovation from this crowd as the Lakers just working around in no hurry now. Bryant again from way out. For Kobe, who gave us that Michael Jordan shrug. Final seconds. Donnie Marshall just checked in. Is not able to hit. So the Lakers win this one going away. Led by as many as 20. The Nets got back into it. But as we've been saying, you never have the feeling that it was a ball game.
The Lakers, they're really good.
Good point, Bill. 106-83 is the final score. Let's go to Jim Grant.
All right, with Shaquille O'Neal, who had 40 points and 12 rebounds tonight. Shaq, they got it down to 6. Did you ever feel this game was in doubt?
You better get ready. You better get ready for tomorrow, the Tyson Lewis bout. No, you know, they're a great team. Jason Kidd's MVP this year. You know, he's a great player. You know, they fight, they hustle. We know that if we get a lead, we got to take care of the ball, play smart. And a couple of times, you know, we had a couple of lapses. You know, they just came back, but we know what it takes to win. And we know what it takes to, you know, maintain our composure and keep our lead.
You were plus 36 on the court tonight. Have you been able to intimidate the Nets?
I'm not trying to intimidate them. I'm just trying to win. I always said to myself after the disappointing sweep against the Houston Rockets that if I ever get back to this level, I need to, you know, set my mark, let my name be known, and try to win. We have 2, and right now I'm just focusing on number 3. You know, I don't get into all the, you know, trying to, you know, intimidate people. I'm just playing.
Do you think there's anything that the Nets can do to make this more competitive?
You know, we're used to any type of defense, so, you know, whatever type of defense they throw, we just have to play smart. And you better be smart tomorrow. Don't ask Mike nothing.
Did you like hitting me? Who are you picking?
I like Mike. I like Lennox. I just want it to be a nice, clean fight, and I wouldn't mind seeing Mike Tyson back on top.
Shaq, congratulations. We look forward to seeing you. If I did that to Mike, it probably wouldn't come back. Marv, back to you.
Is Jim all right? Took a glancing blow. 40 points, 12 rebounds, 6 assists for Shaquille O'Neal, his 5th 40-point game in the NBA Finals. We'll be back here at Staples in Los Angeles in a moment.